Hey folks, Aaron here. Welcome back to the anime review. Today we're looking at Kokkoku episode 10. I apologize by the way, folks. I didn't mean to get this out on Monday, but I figured it wasn't a big deal anyways. I think what's really sad about Kokkoku is that despite how amazing this show is, it has such a low view count. And at this point, I'm just reviewing it just because I want to review it. It's like my own personal thing of reviewing it and talking to the few people that really enjoy this show. Because honestly, it's like, how can you not love this show? This show is awesome. The way it's doing things is just really incredible. And I'm sure now that we are reaching the climax of the show. Probably 12 episodes, 13 episodes at the most. Because by episode 10 today, we just had this slew of stuff happen that's already kind of reaching our climax. So Sagawa went back into his past a little bit, talked about what he dealt with as a kid. But what was very interesting is that, I think the whole episode was semi-focused on him without really trying to intentionally be like that. Where, we had this whole giant fight between all the guys fighting against, Sagawa in his beefed up, form. And, of course, Makoto, being the little kid, he was obviously found out being the one with the powers. I mean, come on. The dad didn't do a very good job of hiding that. That was legitimately so funny because here he's thinking oh man, I'm going to be respected and everyone's going to love me and they're going to see me with strength. And he's trying to say, don't tell anyone, you'll get in trouble if you tell anyone, Makoto. Don't tell anyone you have powers. You knew, within the first time he said that they were going to find out, immediately. Sagawa right away saw that he was the one controlling the handler, and he went right after him. But, lo and behold, that was funny. That whole fight, though, was really cool. I mean, it wasn't, the best fight I've ever seen in an anime, because obviously they're way better, but it was a solid fight overall, because I think it wasn't trying to be super special or super, flashy. It was normal people trying their best to stop something that essentially is not anything close to normal. And I thought that was just funny as hell. But yeah, then when Sagawa gets caught by the handler and then has to kind of consume it because his body falls apart and becomes this husk of what he was before, he starts talking about his past, and he tells Yuri that he can get her out. He can teach her how to actually expel the jellyfish within inside, their scepters as they call them, and make them come out just of her free will. But the only way to do that is if she aligns with him. And what's interesting though is she doesn't believe that. The grandfather you see though is kind of falling for that bait a little bit, and maybe he's not entirely lying about it. Maybe he does know a certain way of doing it because he's gotten so close because of that weird form that he's taken that he is probably the closest to the jellyfish within him and understands their concepts and maybe what they can say and do. But there's something fishy about that because as we see from his past, he was a part of a religious cult. It's not, I don't even think it's a religion. I think it was just a cult. And, he was best friends with this one guy, but then, of course, when certain things happened, it led to this realization that his father, the guy he saw as this strong-willed person, was not as strong as he thought it was, especially when he went and saw with his friend that apparently his father and the mother were having sex. And I think it was a storeroom for religious artifacts. And that's, it's pretty blasphemous of if any religion would do that, in terms of being on top of all the religious artifacts that you claim are so holy and can't be washed a certain way, which is why they even went to go there. They went to go and replace a little packet that they had because the one kid tried to clean it off when he dropped on the floor apparently and try to use soap, but you're not supposed to apparently do that. Here they are having sex on top of all these artifacts. So even cult or not, it's wow, that's pretty sacrilegious for your own kind. So you can see already Sagawa's mindset probably is going to change dramatically from that because, that's, here you are being raised up to think that, your religion is the best around and so perfect, and here you are thinking your father's perfect also, and then to see that. So I'm very curious, I want to see what Sagawa's next steps as a kid were during this because I can almost figure, and I'm not going to put too many theories out, but I can figure that after that he wanted to start one of his own, his own cult, to show that if there's anything strong about it, it's going to be the founder of it, and he wouldn't be like his father in this case, where he would actually do things that would adhere to the rules and regulations of it. But I'm just curious about that because we've seen this dude also kill people without a hesitation in his mind. So it's I'm interested about that. I really am. And this guy, as the girl says, he's not a villain. He's just a really messed up person. and that's interesting because he is doing villainous acts. He's not a good guy. Sagawa's pretty messed up in the head. But at the same time, as he says, he's not even good enough to be a villain. And that's because of his I think the whole thing of what he's actually trying to go through the world of stasis for. It's again, for the future, to see the future up close and personal. It's what villain actually wants to do that? You know, it's crazy. So I like how his character is. It's not, you know, your typical villain or evil person. It's someone that feels real. Like every one of these characters is realistic. And I actually had to write about that recently in an article I did where I talked about how real these characters were, because that's one of the best things about Kokkoku is that these are relatable characters. I mean, like Yuri, for example, herself is someone that you can relate to. And I'll talk more about this, by the way, when I get into the final review. I don't want to flood you guys right now, but I will say that I really enjoyed this episode. It just brings that realism back in terms of like how everything went down, you know, the fight and just the whole backstory and stuff like that. Anyways, what do you guys think about this week's episode? I'd love to hear in the comments below. I will talk to you later. Fate Last Encore has not come out yet, to my knowledge. So when it does come out, I'll try my best to get around to it. Expect it, if it doesn't come out between now and like 1 o'clock, expect it probably way later tonight, because I'm going to be busy all day today. After like 3 o'clock, I got to go shopping before apparently we're supposed to be hit up with another nor'easter. It's not supposed to be horrible, but it does mean that I'm going to be, I'll probably make sure I'm prepared for that and stuff like that, just in case, because there's like nothing in my house right now food-wise. So I got to go do that, and I got other things to do today too. So I'll talk to you guys later. God bless you all. Hopefully enjoy the review. If you did enjoy the review, please think about hitting the subscribe button and sharing the video around, liking the video, commenting obviously, and check out my Patreon for various rewards. I will talk to you guys later. Bye-bye, everyone.